So I want to do something a little different today. Because here's the thing, I've been in this with you for a while now. And over the course of these episodes, there have been specific moments that just hit differently. Moments that showed up in your DMs, moments you screenshotted and sent to your friends, and moments that just made you stop what you were doing and sit with something that you have been avoiding. So today, I curated 4 of those moments, and I did it intentionally. Because sometimes the work isn't about hearing something new. Sometimes the work is about going back to the thing that you already heard and finally letting it land. So, this collection is for the woman who is in the middle of leveling up, the one who knows that she is growing, but some days it just feels heavy, confusing, and even uncomfortable. The one that needs to be reminded that what she is feeling is not a sign of doing something wrong. It is a sign that she is doing something right. So we're going to move through 4 episodes today. Episode 38, 46, 53, and then we're closing it out with episode 51. And by the time that we're done, I want you to see that these are not just 4 separate episodes, 4 separate conversations. These are all one story. Your story. So let me ask you this. What are you lying to yourself about right now? Because if you're honest, there's something that you keep pushing down that you already know the answer to. And facing it might hurt, yes, but avoiding it can destroy you. Truth number 2, value how a person treats you over the title they hold. We give too many passes because of other people's titles in our lives. Oh, that's my mom, that's my man, that's my best friend. Okay, that's fine. But do they respect you? Are they actually showing up for you? Because you see, people can be a part of your family and not be a part of your village. Again, people can be a part of your family and not be a part of your village. Now, if you're curious as to what that means, a person can be related to you. You could be married to a person. You guys can be in the very same house and they will never stand in your corner. So as far as I'm concerned, a title is just a costume if the actions don't match up. I had to learn the hard way that even family can be toxic. More than likely, the family is the toxic ones. Your partner can be inconsistent. Even your so-called best friend can be the very one talking about you behind your back. Because if a person's actions doesn't match the title, then the title doesn't matter anyways. So stop letting people hide behind labels. And I want you to think about this. If you stripped away the title, would you still keep this person in your life? Truth number 3, spending more money won't heal your trauma. That one hurt. Because I am a girl that is all about a little retail therapy, honey. And let me just say, while retail therapy is fun, I love a cute bag, I love a nice flight, and boy, do I love a relaxing spa day. But let me tell you, I've been that girl sitting in my nice little apartment with my new bag and my new shoes, and I was still crying because the hole inside of me was still there. We can always buy distractions, but we cannot buy healing. And this whole soft life aesthetic that's going on online means nothing if it's not backed up with inner peace. Truth number 4, you have to define love before you can identify it. Most of us learn what love looks like by watching other people while we're growing up. And for me, I was the kind of person that thought love always came with a little bit of drama. There was always going to be arguments. There's always going to be makeup sex. There's always going to be things that you're going to disagree about. It's okay to yell at each other. It was normal. And it's because I saw so much of that while I was growing up. And don't get me started on the movies, because the movies will, listen, one thing they will do is have somebody break up and make up, okay? But lucky for me, I now know that all of those things are just dysfunction mixed with a little bit of passion. That is not love. I had to sit down and define love for myself. And it was actually one of the hardest things that I had to do. But I now know that for me, love looks like many things, but it does not look like chaos. It does not look like drama. It does not look like abusive language. It does not look like intimidation. It does not look like neglect. For me today, love looks like safety. Love looks like consistency. Love looks like respect. Love looks like me just feeling comfortable being able to breathe around you. So I just want to remind you that if you don't define love for yourself, you'll keep accepting whatever looks familiar. Every truth has a cost. And the moment you actually face it, the moment that it stops being something you know and starts being something you feel, that's when it really gets uncomfortable. This next clip is for the woman who is trying to choose herself, but something inside of her keeps telling her that it's wrong.
Girl, you will not believe the week I've had. Oh my gosh, tell me everything. Did he finally call?
It's some of us that's still running from ripping that Band-Aid off. It's some of us still trying to make a relationship work, even though we know no matter what we do, it's not going to work. It's some of us who's still sitting at that job, knowing that we have so many ideas, so many aspirations, so many dreams in our hearts and in our heads, but we're so afraid to go after it because we're so afraid that we're going to fail. And instead of us failing fast, we'd rather stay somewhere where we're unhappy, where we know that there's not going to be any change. And I just want to encourage everybody to do the thing. Rip off the Band-Aid. Ripping the Band-Aid off may hurt. It may not. It doesn't always hurt. But I can tell you one thing. Staying in a space that you know isn't fulfilling to you definitely will hurt. So let's talk about dating and relationships. Recently, I watched the Mel Robbins podcast, and Shonda Rhimes was on there. And she was saying how, she was engaged to this great guy. They were about to get married. And then she finally realized, like, this isn't for me. Like, I don't want to be married. There was nothing wrong with him, nothing wrong with the man she was engaged to. The relationship was healthy, but she realized she didn't want marriage in that moment. I don't know if it's not that he just wasn't the right guy, or she's just not interested in marriage at all, but she knew at that moment that she did not want to be married. And I admire that so much, because there are so many people that are looking for that perfect mate, that perfect partner for them. And they can look at her and just think that you're stupid. Like, Shonda Rhimes, you're stupid for passing up on a perfect man and saying that you don't want to get married when there's so many women out here that are looking for that good man that's willing to marry them and willing to build an amazing, happy family. You are stupid. But I say she's smart. I say that is the exact vision that I think of when it comes to self-acceptance. Not doing what other people are telling you should be doing what you feel like is right for you. She accepts the fact that, you know what, I'm a woman that is not seeking marriage right now. And I accept that. And I'm not going to first force myself to be in a situation that other people feel like is a good idea, because that is what women do. That is what women do. We put ourselves on the back burners and we satisfy other people and we fulfill other people and we do whatever society feels like we should be doing so that everyone can feel like you're a good woman. And on the inside, you feel empty, you feel drained, you feel like you've lost your identity. And I just really admire her for that. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure you check out that episode with the Mel Robbins podcast with Shonda Rhimes. It was really good. I actually learned a lot about myself watching that episode, and I encourage you guys to check it out. Choosing yourself is one thing, but staying chosen, that's where most of us get tripped up. Because comfort has a way of making the familiar feel safe, even when it's quietly shrinking you. When people come into your life and the experiences of those people alter the way you look at life and alter the things that you want for yourself in your life, that is proof that they still have control over you. You see, sometimes we feel like the power move is leaving them, but you can physically be gone. They can physically leave, and they can still be in here. You see, when you're making decisions based on what other people did to you, they're still in here. When your nervous system is responding a certain kind of way because it's triggered by certain actions, and instead of you fighting the good fight to see it through and really really heal yourself, you don't want to be triggered anymore. So to avoid being triggered, what do? You walk away from it. I don't want it anymore. I don't need love. I don't need a relationship. Love a man. I love myself. Men are a lot of work. Men don't get it. And I get it. I understand. I've been single for 4 years now. And I am definitely one of those people that feel like men can be exhausting, tiring. They take a lot. But with the right man, they will also give a lot. I want to encourage you to do something. I want you to go on your socials, and I want you to go on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Google, whatever. I want you to search all the positive things about marriage. Happily married couples, positive things about marriage. Why should I get married? Listen to women who are actually in marriages and are actually happy in them. And I don't want you to get happy misconstrued with easy, because the relationship is not going to be easy. You having a friendship isn't easy. You coming together with a person that is nothing like you is nothing easy about that. It will never be easy. Life is all about putting in the work, whether it's with people, for your relationships, for your money, for your family, for your house, whatever it's for. Life is about putting in the work. The question is, how bad do you want it? How much does it really matter to you? Now, let's go a little bit deeper on these relationships, because the comfort doesn't just start there. It doesn't just start while you're in the relationships. You see, the reason why you keep having these same issues in those relationships is because you're also comfortable in your dating patterns. You don't want to date a man that does different things. Goes golfing, what? 5'6", what? His hair is what? He only makes 100K, what? You want to date where you're comfortable. Yeah, I want him to dress like this. I want him to look like this. You don't care if he has 5 kids as long as he's fine. And don't sit up here and say, no, because if that was the case, how come you are baby mama number 4? And I do not mean to get disrespectful, but we have to be real. This is real life. I know we sit up here and we scroll until we get to the depths of hell, but once you finally put your phone down, you are living in reality. And you cannot compare your real life to the things that you see on social media, because those things have been cropped, they have been flipped, they have been twisted, they have been altered in so many ways before they're actually posted. And through all of it, the truths, the discomfort, the familiar patterns you are trying to break, there are going to be emotions that rise up that you just don't know what to do with. And this last clip is the one that ties it all together. So let's talk a little bit about those unwarranted outbursts. And when I say unwarranted, I don't mean that you didn't have a reason to feel what you felt. I mean that the intensity that you had did not match the moment. For instance, when something small happens and your response comes out way bigger than the issue that just occurred, then later you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, why did I react like that? Why did I do that? And if we're being completely honest, we both know that it was not about the moment. At least it was not about that moment. It was about everything. Everything you hadn't said, everything you were holding in, everything that you've been telling yourself that you're fine with when you know you weren't. So let me give you a real life example, because this one really checked me, because I'm a very, very passionate person. When I am feeling a certain kind of way, I am one of those people where I feel like I am in dire need of expressing it. But the one thing that I recently learned is even though I need to express it, there's a time and there's a place and there's a way. Okay. So it doesn't always mean that just because you feel like you need to express yourself, that it is the proper moment for you to express that to others. There are so many different options that we can utilize to be able to properly get our emotions out in whatever way that we see fit that will not affect other people. You can think about things like you can pray about it. You can journal about it. You can speak to a person that is not directly involved in the situation. You can speak to your therapist about it. You can sit on your couch and just talk it out with yourself. You can write a song about it. You can work out. It's a lot of things that you can do for you to get that emotion out and also make sure you don't have to worry about doing damage control on the back end because you have just negatively impacted a relationship that you truly care about because you didn't have control over your emotions. Women, I need for you to stop trying to have serious conversations when you are not in a space for dialogue. If you feel your chest tightening, your thoughts are racing, and you already feel like you might say something reckless, then that is not the moment for you to try and talk it out. You need to stop the conversation and take a beat because what you're really looking for in that moment, in that space, is relief. Your body needs some relief. So if you do try to have this conversation while you're feeling like that, your body's going to get the relief that it needs by releasing on someone in a manner that you never intended to do. And sure, that relief will feel good short term, but it rarely leads to you getting any type of understanding. So if you don't listen to anything else I say, if you are not in a position to listen, then don't start the conversation. So if you can see that you're only in a space to unload and then you want to leave and you're not in a space to receive, then you should not be having that conversation. And I know this conversation can feel very, very uncomfortable. Hell, it was uncomfortable for me to even decide to talk about it. But we're here and we have to be responsible for our actions. I want you to remember that accountability still matters. Being able to say, I did not handle that well and I am working on it still matters. Now that is real grown woman energy. And I'll leave you with this. Your emotions are not the enemy. They're your information. They're your guide. But how you respond, that part is on you. Regulation is going to be how you stop losing yourself in moments. And it's going to be how you start showing up as who you actually are instead of just how you're feeling at that time. All right, ladies, that is the collection. 4 episodes, 1 journey. From facing the truth to choosing yourself even when it feels wrong, to recognizing what comfort has been costing you, and to learning how to stay grounded through all of it. It's not a highlight reel, it is a process, and you are in that process. If any of these episodes hit and you want to go back and listen to the full version, every single one of them is on the Her Clarity Space playlist. Listen again and take your time. And if you've been listening for a while and you haven't signed up for the Clarity Circle, then girl, what are you waiting for? Because this is where the conversations are going to get deeper. Real women, real support, real talk in real time. The link is in the bio. I'm your girl Jess, and this is Her Clarity Space. And I will see you ladies again next week.